So guys, welcome to another gardening video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about ways in which you can prepare your garden for autumn. Autumn is just around the corner, so I thought, this would be a good video for all the people. Okay, tell me if you like it by liking, subscribe, also become a member. Let's go into the video. So the first tip, and yeah, you know why it's number one, because it's very important, and this is soil care. So basically feeding nutrients back into the garden. The summer crops have taken a lot of the nutrients in the ground, so now you need to refeed it for the autumn crops and the autumn garden, right? So one way that you can do this is with compost. You place the compost on top and you just let it sit there, let rain and let nature seep in the nutrients organically. Or you could come into the garden, get your compost, and then mix it with the soil that you already have, right? So integrating that compost into the soil. This will be a quicker way to actually integrate all the nutrients that you need. Yeah, this way is a lot slower, but more natural, and also helps with the structure of the actual garden. Yeah, so it's basically up to you what you prefer. If you want to plant something quick, this method. If you want something that's gonna take some time, then you can use this one. Then the next one is planting, making sure that you're planting your August crops. The thing is with this one, I'll give you a few just so that you can get started, but I'm going to do a video on the crops that you can grow in March. So that one I have to I have to plug you guys. You have to wait until that video, and then I'll give you all of the autumn crops that you can be growing starting in March. Okay, so right now, kale is a nice one to be growing, right? What's nice about kale is that you have different varieties. Yeah, so we have the Vates Blue and the Chow Melaleu. These ones are they're very exotic. Okay, Melaleu. Okay, and then we also have broccoli. Broccoli would also fit in nicely with the autumn crops. So what you're looking for basically is for cool season crops that can withstand the cold, also going to more rainy climates. Next is mulching. So mulching, definitely one that you definitely need to do in order to capture all of the moisture from the rain that is happening, so also to act as another source of nutrients in the garden. So the difference between mulching and compost is you see that mulching, you don't really integrate it with the soil. This is basically just to protect the soil and also just add some nutrients, but this happens really at a slow pace, and it takes a long time to actually degrade all of the mulch, right? So this is basically to protect the soil and also to capture all of the moisture from all of the rain. It's also good at suppressing weeds, which could also take some nutrients from some of the crops. So you can see, as here, we have the mulch, and then I can just show you here, there's no mulch. Or even here, there's really no mulch. But here you can see, and the difference is the amount of weeds that are present. So mulch, this will definitely serve the autumn garden so nicely. So the next one is pest control. I think over the years I've really become more I've become a lot more excited about the pest control in my garden. And I think if you've been watching for quite some time now, you know that I use basically flowers, nasturtium, marigold. Those are what I use to actually protect my garden from pests. Obviously it can only go so far. Sometimes I have rats in the garden, so then I have to actually do some poison, or I have to cover the actual crops that it's eating. So it obviously differs from time to time. So in my last video, I thought that it was birds actually eating the crops, but it was rats. So in the comments people are like, no bruh, this is rat stock. So things like that, you obviously have to it's very tailored pest control. But what I would say is, get your flowers, guys and girls and everything. Get your flowers. Get your flowers. Okay, like this is the most important thing, I think, in the garden in terms of pest control. Marigold, nasturtium is also a really great one. If you have a lot of these can really deter a lot of the pests that are eating at stuff, and you can also attract pollinators. So you're attracting the bees, the butterflies, the things that do really well in order for the plant to actually flower and produce the actual fruit and vegetable. So it's, for me, it's just such a beautiful thing. And I used to look at it as a negative in the past. Pairing your favorite crops together, this helps them grow a lot bigger and also fights off a lot of the pests that they struggle with. If you're pairing crops that complement each other, this just results in healthier crops. This also deters pests, because pests only attack unhealthy or suffering plants. So getting them as healthy as possible by pairing them with their boys, with their girls. I like the way of creating an ecosystem, and that is the best way for me to create a pest-free or a pest or to create an ecosystem where the pests don't thrive, but the positive insects actually overpower the negative ones. So just creating, because we're all gonna have pests in our garden. It's just about how to control them. So these are also not only the only flowers that you can have in your garden. I recently got to research the marigold and the nasturtium, and so literally, luckily, they've also just been really taking over in my garden. So there are multiple of flowers that you can get, such as these ones. You see, these ones also, they always struggle me. I always can't remember the name, so it always is a struggle. But this one, when you water it all these reds, they become more red. Okay, so get your flowers in, get your pollinators. I mean, even this, you see, this is producing like a purple. It's calling in pollinators, and this is a comfort. And also make sure that you are coming out and checking on your crops, just to make sure that they aren't getting any insects or pests that may deter it in the future. So just check in regularly. Then next is watering. And watering, you might ask me, why watering? So with the season changing, there's going to be different weather, right? So now it's raining a lot more, and the sun is a lot less showing up, right? So what you now need to do is adjust your watering to fit the season. So now you won't have to do as much watering as you did in the summer months, because now the rain will actually help us with that. So just make sure that you are not over watering certain crops and also under watering other crops. So you'll know that tomatoes don't really like too much rain, and then also the lettuce don't like when they are not covered in rain. All right, so just make sure that you are adjusting now for the autumn season. So then the last one and not least is plan ahead. So now with the seasons changing, plan ahead to make sure that all of the crops that you have now for the season, they are cool season crops, and they can withstand the seasonal changes, right? So we had the tomatoes. The tomatoes now are going to start coming to an end, but now we have the brassicas that can grow really nicely, and the spinaches that are going to do so nicely, the lettuce that are going to start flourishing. So making sure that you plan what crop you have. Just making sure you I love this. So just making sure that you plan ahead on what crops are now going to be in the garden. And then also maybe consider crop rotation, because crop rotation can actually help with deterring some of the pests. So crop rotation, if you don't know, it's basically, you see how I have spinach here. So the spinach now would move, let's say for example, to the next crop. From here, the pests that like the spinach would be sitting here, right? They would be all chilling here. And so if you move them to here, then it at least deters the pests that were already here. And if you, as compared to if you had left them, then you know those pests are accustomed here. They basically build homes, and now they know that, okay, we can have our supply of spinach. But if you move them, you know, you confuse them a bit, you shake them up. So that will bring me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. You know my schedule: Sundays and Wednesdays. Become a member. It's the first link in the description. So yeah, like if you enjoyed. I love you guys all. Love, peace, grow every single day.